What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 5-3. Man, I'm back again. As always, man, consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. You know, I kick it with the Foundation, and the Foundation kicks it with me. You know what I'm saying? My dang ball done came loose, so what? Y'all gonna talk about me regardless. Don't make no difference. Anyway, man, listen. So now, I know lately I had gave y'all the story about, dudes coming into prison for the first time. You know what I'm saying? A little undersized, or it might not be, you know what I'm saying, the best experience. Might not be the best experience, man. You know what I'm saying? Things get hard on the yard sometimes, But now, I give out the info for the youngsters out there, or for the people out there can give it to the youngsters to try to deter them from taking that route. You know what I'm saying? Because didn't nobody give it to me that route. No, didn't nobody give it to me that way. You know what I'm saying? During my day coming up, it was a rite of passage to go to YA and go to prison. You know what I'm saying? It was something we looked for, we strived for, we couldn't wait. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the hurdles, regardless of the big bad wolves, the boogeymans, you know what I'm saying, the Bigfoots and monsters and lions and tigers and bears that was up in there, coming up in the culture that I came up in the area that I came up in the place, in the city, in the state I came up in, you know what I'm saying, it was pushed. You know what I'm saying? Could nobody who had never been to jail, did no wide time or prison time, in LA, in that gang environment, in that gang mentality in LA, if you hadn't done no time, ain't no need for you to try to jump up and try to act like you running something, because you ain't running spit. Everybody respecting you. Fool, you ain't been through enough. But now, it's a pretty price to pay to get that type of recognition. It's a pretty price to pay, man, to go through that just so you can move up in the ranks, just so you can try to say I'm OG now. It was a pretty price to pay, man, and it's a price that I don't want no youngsters of today to have to try to pay it. But now back to the lesson at hand. Speaking on how it was for them, what you think it was a cakewalk for me? In a way, you could probably say it was or what, but no, I went through something. And I'm gonna tell a story. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just talk about how it was for y'all. I'm gonna let you know how it was for me. Something that I went through. My first time going to prison. Ooh-wee. Man, listen. I caught a case. I'm on my way. This was back in the 1980s, y'all. Early 1980s. So not that early, but mid. 85 to be exact. I'm in Chino. I caught my case. Went through the county jail. You know what I'm saying? Crip module. Did all that, you know what I'm saying? Now, while in the crip module, was getting schooled about how things go, you know what I'm saying, what to look for, what to face, you know what I'm saying? 4800 and 4700, mainly 4800, that was a training ground, because there was a lot of young lokes that was up in there that had never been to prison. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of us that was up in there, Now, it was a lot of us up in there that had did a lot of YA time. And so, we had a hand up. We had an extra foot up on the homies who was coming in, who had never did no YA time, been to juvenile hall maybe, did a little camp time maybe, but had never done no YA time. So now they coming into the county jail, they in the module, they looking to get school. So all the homies that would come down from the pen, they know we don't know nothing, so they doing what they do, and they do diligence. They doing what they supposed to do. They're in there schooling us how to make weapons, what to look for, what to, not what to pay attention to, what to not pay attention to. The whole hookup on what to do to carry ourselves as men coming into this prison system. Back then, you know what I'm saying? The prison system back then compared to the prison system now, Two total different worlds. Two total different worlds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much time between 1985 all the way up to 2025. I don't know how many years that is, but y'all do the math. Been a lot of changes that went on since then. So anyway, man, listen. I get my time. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Coming through Chino. Now, for those who don't know, Chino is the reception center for Southern California. It was the only one back then. You know what I'm saying? We had, for Southern California, we had Chino. For Northern California, they had Vacaville. As time went on, you know, all these other ones started popping up. All the other little reception centers started popping up, and people started going to those. But in my day, Southern California, Chino, Northern California, Vacaville. So I come up in there, man. I'm up in there, man. Boom. I'm in, okay, Palm Hall was the hole. I'm in a unit called Cypress. You had Birch, Palm Hall, Cypress, Sycamore, stuff like that. Sycamore back then was known as Stickamore. But now I'm over here in Cypress. All of them was wild, all of them off the chain. You feel me? So, you know, people's in there doing what they do, and it is what it is, was what it was. It was going to be what it was going to be. Or see, you know. Anyway, so when I first come in, now, you got to look. I ain't really tripping. I'm not really tripping. Like I say, I'd already done a gang of years in YA. You feel what I'm saying? And boom. So, you know, YA babies, we seasoned a little bit different. But now listen, man, some stuff can happen that, you know, you can call yourself seasoned. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself. I got heart. I'm down. I'm a rider. I'm a true blue loke. I'm a whatever you want to call yourself. Man, listen, some stuff can catch you off guard. And one thing I learned over the years, man, that, you know what I'm saying, people talking about what they do. Man, I do this, I do that. I do this and I do that. And like I say, man, as the years went by, man, and I got a little bit more older, I got a little bit more wiser, I came to the realization that, man, don't nobody know what they gonna do until it's time to do it. Man, situations can hit you in your face so fast that all that yippee, yappa, yappa, yippee you was talking, boom, you ain't about none of that. You ain't doing none of that right now. Not saying that you gonna punk the game, but you might not handle a situation in the same fashion that you said that you was gonna handle it. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I knew off the rip, weapons, off the rip, coming in, because from the indoctrination that the homies gave me in the crip module, in the county jail, man, I get me a weapon, homie. You feel me? I'm poking something off the rip if it get wrong. I'm gonna poke something off the rip. It's just like, look, with all them years later, when I caught my case in Alabama, my first day in the county jail, I got up to my cell about 3 o'clock in the morning. Boom, come out for breakfast, went back in, then we come out for lunch. Soon as we came out, I went to looking around. This is the training and the indoctrination that you're going to get when you go to doing a lot of time in them California systems. You looking around. You looking for any piece of metal, any piece of anything that might be loose, look like it could be broke off, twisted off, bent off, chewed off, knocked off. However off you going to get it, it got to come off. Because you looking to make a little something. You looking to see what's going to do. You feel what I'm saying? When I first went in the cell, I looked at the floor around the toilet, because a lot of times when dudes gonna sharpen weapons, they gonna sharpen them on the back side of the toilet. Hey, so police come in for a routine look around. When you sharpen them knives on the floor, after so long, because you want to get that groove, you want to get a long groove, you know what I'm saying? You want to be able to get in that groove so you can yick it. You know what I'm saying? Put that work in. And eventually it's going to leave long tracks on the floor. That lets you know, okay, somebody been in here sharpening knives. So I'm going to look for that. Now I looked for that to see if, like, what type of time these fools on around here. I didn't see that. But now, anyway, like I said, when we came out the next day for lunch, I'm looking around and I peep on the stairs. The stairs go down. I was on the second tier. They had an air vent about 9 inches, about 9 or 10 inches long, wide. Maybe about, I can't remember how high up it went. But anyway, it was an air vent with them long metal slats in it. Now I'm peeping. When I looked at it, I seen it. I'm like, oh, cuz. That's me right there. So I tell my crummy was from 6-0. My homie No Good was down on the 8th floor. I was up on what they call the 9th floor. So when I peeped it, I'm like, oh yeah. But what tripped me out is none of them were missing. None of the slats. It was about 15 slats in there. None of the slats were missing. Now in Cali, man, come on, homie. Man, between the blacks and the Mexicans, man, it'd have been so much, it wouldn't have been none of them left up in there. They'd have had to take that whole vent clean off the wall, because we'd have snatched all that little metal up out of there. Off the rip, it'd have been gone. So when I peeped, wasn't none of them missing. I'm like, huh? Don't worry about it. One of them finna be missing now. So I sat there and I touched them. I felt them. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a little bit inconspicuous. You know what I'm saying? Which was gonna be hard, because back then I come up in there on monster swole, dang near 400 pounds. And I'm knowing these fools looking at me like, man, what planet he come from? So when I thought wasn't nobody looking, I feel him. I try to bend him. I bend him. So I sat there for a minute, a cool minute. I'm twisting and bending till one of them came loose. When it came loose, I'm like, oh, shoot. All right. I'm in the game here. I don't like Maggie Stone. Whop. I pocketed, got it, boom. So, immediately when we went back to the cell, I immediately went to handling my business. You know what I'm saying? The whole time I was in there, I had me something real nice. But, that's a California mentality when it come to doing time. Look around, find you something, get you something, make you something, fabricate something, put it together, So anyway, back to, I got off track. Man, I'm in Cyprus. Man, I'm in, when I first go to the cell, when I get to the cell, I'm in a cell with an old cat. So I see him, I peep him. I'm like, all right, I ain't tripping. I come on in the cell. So I'm like, what's up, man? He like, hey, what's up, man? Old fool named Dave. I'm like, so, I'm like, what's up, cuz? You know what I'm saying? I was wild back then. I'm like, what's up, cuz? You know what I'm saying? I'm on my way to make sure what I'm going in here with. So old dude name was Dave. Boom. I'm checking him out. So now at the time, I was in my early 20s, I think. In my 20s, somewhere like that. And old boy had to be in every bit of, like, in his 50s. I couldn't clock it at the time, but now, he was in his 50s somewhere or something like that. So seemed like he was cool. He was cool, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't tripping. Cause I hit him up. I asked him, I'm like, hey homeboy, you bang? You know what I'm saying? He like, huh? I'm like, you bang, homie? You know what I'm saying? He like, no. Bang, that gang stuff. I'm like, yeah. He like, no. I don't do none of that. I ain't into none of that, man. I ain't into none of that. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, hit him up for his name and stuff. I told him who I was, where I was from. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So like, it wasn't no problem. I'm like, cool. So now, of course, my radar's all the way on. I got a sonar like a submarine. So the first 2-3 days go by, it was cool. Wasn't no problem. It was cool. Wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, he was in there for assault. He was in there for assault. Hold on. He was in there for assault. And so like, okay. Told him what I was in there for, what, you know what I'm saying? He told me what part of LA he was from, and he was out the valley. He was out the valley. So I'm like, cool, all right. Told him what state I was from. He didn't know nothing about none of that. So as like I say, after a few days went by, he let me know that and he did a lot of time in the service. So I'm like, oh, all right, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of questions. You know, I'm real interested in, you know what I'm saying, what went on in like Vietnam, Korea, you know, World War One, World War Two, all the different wars that happened throughout time. Like I said, you know, as y'all know, in case you don't know, I got an AA degree. I went to college in prison though. And one of the things that I mastered in was US and world history. I've always been deep off into history. And, you know, I study wars. I like to know about the wars. And you know, I read the books and all that. So anyway, so when old boy, he was telling me he was in Vietnam. He had went to Vietnam as a youngster. But it messed him up. It messed him up. It messed him up. How bad it messed him up, I didn't realize. I didn't know. Didn't realize, didn't know. So, you know, I had my misgivings on old boy, you know, because I was, you know, I was a young dude, but he was old dude, but I was way bigger than man. I was a monster. So, you know, on that aspect, I really wasn't tripping on it because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if fool get crazy, I'm finna do the ooh wee with him up in his cell. You know, for real. But anyway, he was a cool dude. So he went to telling me more and more about his case, how he ended up catching his case, what happened, and he was in there on some crazy stuff. He was in there on some crazy stuff, man. Oh, my bad. I thought my wife was calling me. He was in there on some crazy stuff. Now, he was mad. I didn't know what I don't know. I never knew what a VA was at that point. It came later on. Now, what is that? Where like, if you did time in the service, the VA is, I guess that's like the doctor hospital stuff that you go through. And they help you. I guess you only have to pay half price and all that old crazy stuff. So boom. Now, I'm jumped the gun a little bit. Now, the situation I went through with this cat was a trip because it was a prelude to a situation that I went through years and years and years later with a dude in the cell. So now, like I say, I was a wide baby, but this was my first rodeo with prison, being up in here. You know, when I first stepped up there, I'm looking at the bars, the cement. I'm looking at all this old crazy stuff. I'm like, dang. Well, I'm like, we here now. Here now, you know. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So, bam. The whole time I was in there up until the situation that took place, I didn't have no weapon. I didn't know how to really make none. Wasn't none to really get my hands on. So, the only thing I knew was the stay soap in a sock, you know, if it came down to it. If it came down to it, that's what it was. I say about a week and a half went by. Everything was cool up till then. This, after about 14, now I say after about 10, 11 days, old boy went to tripping. He went to tripping. Not really necessarily on me. Now, of course, I was on the top bunk. I don't like bottom bunks. I was supposed to be on the bottom bunk, but about that, let me get the top bunk, man. You know, boom, 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 boom. I always had a mentality doing time. Look, get the top bunk, so in case you get into it with your cellie, or you get into it with somebody and they run in the cell on you, they can't come down on you. While you're on the bottom bunk, they can come down on you or doing whatever they're going to do. Try to pin you down or whatever. My mentality was if I'm up at the top, they got to come up to me and I can come down on them. So I've always wanted the top bunk. Always. Anyway, man, one night, old boy go to tripping. He go to tripping. When I say he went to tripping, he went to talking in his sleep. But now his talk was like he was back in the war. Like somebody was trying to do something to him. So, it woke me up. I'm like, listen, all I heard, when I woke up, I heard like Army talk, like what, like if he was talking to some people out in the field or this and that, and he jumped, man, no, man, no, man, no, hey, man, we all gonna die. What? We all gonna do what? So I roll over and I lean down. I'm looking at this fool, making sure he didn't get out this bed. But now he down there tossing and turning. He going through it, talking that talk. I'm like, man, what the heck? Man, listen. He do that for about 10, 15 minutes. Then he stopped. I'm like, all right, cool. He don't do nothing else. Lo and behold, was I a little spooked? I was a little spooked, man. What's going on? Because I'm like, man, this fool know all this Army stuff or whatever. I'm like, all right. When he get up the next day, man, I tell him about it, though. I say, hey, look here, check this out, homie. I say, man, last night, boy, you was going through a little something, huh? He like, what you mean? He used to always call me sir and young man. What you mean, sir? Or what you mean, young man? I didn't like nail one of them, the young man or the sir. I kept telling that fool, hey, homie, my name Cartoon, huh? But anyway, so what you mean? And I told him what it was. He was like, oh, man. He say, man, I go through episodes sometimes. You go through what? I go through episodes sometimes, man. Sometimes, things get a little hard on me. I say, get a little hard on you. Yeah. I say, man, your episodes, I was like, look, you ain't finna be getting up tripping, are you? Now, in the back of my mind, he done spooked me. I ain't gonna lie, man, I ain't finna front. I ain't finna try to play that tough role. He done spooked me. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I hadn't had no experiences with dudes that, living in a cell with dudes that had been to the Army and done all this old crazy stuff. Because now, like I say, I had been talking to him and I had been questioning him about, you ever ran across this? Ran across that? He telling me about different shootouts he done had with them dudes over there. And, tell me about how snakes done crawled across them. And, because I used to ask him about stuff I done read in books. How they used to have to go down in them tunnels and shoot it out. And the type of stuff that if they caught you, they would, what they would do to you. All type of stuff. I'm like, dang, so I got a lot of information floating around in my head at this time. All right, cool. Don't bring that stuff back to me. No, nothing to do with it. A couple of more nights go by. It wasn't no thing. Man, listen. Another night, about the third night go by, the third or the fourth night go by. He go to tripping again. Y'all. I don't know what's this food problem. I'm like, man, what? And the stuff he's saying, it's kind of spooking me. Now, like I say, I still don't have no weapon. But now, what I had was something, you can't call it brass knuckles. I learned this in YA. What I would do to keep from breaking your fingers when you fight, and making your fists more harder and more stronger, what you do, you roll off some toilet paper. Roll off a gang of toilet paper, a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to, trial and error till you get it the right feel for you. And like when you take it, you kind of fold it and you put it in your hand and squeeze it. You might want to wet it a little bit, just a tad bit, so when you squeeze it, it molds. It's going to mold to the contours of your hand. And you get you two of them, and when you put them in there, it's like putting a lead pipe in your hand. For future references, there's some game to people out there. A little small piece of wood, piece of steel, piece of round pipe, piece of anything. If you sit it in your hand right here and close your hand around it, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, you just hitting a dude with your bare fist, you might do 4 damage, depending on how hard you hit or whatever. But now let's just say you doing damage on a scale of 4. Once you put that in your hand and hit a fool, your 4 goes to 8 or better. Yeah, it goes to 8 or better. It extends your fist a little bit bigger, and it makes everything harder, and it intensifies the damage that you can do. Boom. So I had me that. I had me 2 of them. Just in case. You know what I'm saying? No telling what's gonna happen. So look, when the night old boy go, the second night old boy go to acting a fool, man, I come up out the bed. And I'm looking at him. So I'm looking at this fool. So I'm like, hey. He done got up and sat on the edge of the bed. So I'm like, hey, man, hey, partner, hey, homie, hey, cuz, hey. So he was dreaming of something, but then he come up out of it and gonna look at me like, yeah. I say, fool, you all right, man? What's happening? What's going on? What's up? So he act like he got an attitude, like he mad. Man, I got both them things in my hand already. I say, hey, homie, check this out, fool. Man, look, I don't know what you tripping on or what you going through or you dreaming or having a nightmare or whatever it is you doing. Hey, it ain't cool. It's not cool, homie. No, it ain't cool. So now the dude is respectful. He know that he be going through episodes. I don't even know what the police put me in this fool's cell for. But anyway, he know he be going through episodes. And so he trying to explain it to me, trying to basically tell me, have a little patience, just have a little patience. I'm like, yeah, all right. But I tell him, I say, homie, nah, I'm finna go though. I'm finna move. So, I'm with this thing now in my mind, like, well, how I'm gonna get moved out this cell without going to the police. You feel what I'm saying? Because that telling thing is verbatim. So I'm saying? I'm just starting out. I don't want to make it seem like I'm running to the police, telling on nobody or something like that. But now I got to get out the cell because this ain't finna work. Cuz tripping. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm going to the police or anything. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you you trying to do everything by the books like the big homies told us, So I got at him. I'm like, hey, man, well, look, let's get at him together and just let him know, hey, look, I need to just go to another cell and blah, 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 blah. Basically, I'm trying to get him in on it so that, we can get at him together. It ain't like I went behind his back, said nothing to the police, anything like that. But now it's imperative that I, get up out this cell. It's a must. I want to go. Old boy tripping. I don't trust it. He might pull a stunt. So, he agreed with it. He agreed with it. Luckily, he said, okay, understand. He was like, I understand, cool. We can get at the police. So we can't, when we finally did come out the cell, when you come out the little desk be right there before you go into the chow hall, we got it the one time. And he did most of the talking, explained to him that, yeah, he do have little manic episodes and this, and this, and blah, 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 boom. So, I'm like, yeah, I'm telling the police, I'm like, hey, man, you put me in the cell with another crip. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in the cell with another crip anyway. So, boom, boom, boom. So, eventually, that's what they did. Moved out the cell. Wasn't ever no problems. I didn't have to put hands on Grandpa. Grandpa didn't have to do no World War II or whatever army type stuff on me. You know what I'm saying? Vietnam or wherever he was at. He didn't have to try to pull no stunt on me and bite my eyeball out and, pinch my throat closed, or nothing like that. Or whatever those tricks of the trade they be learning, But it was all good. But that was one of them experiences, you know what I'm saying? That was some of the stuff that I'll be telling you youngsters about now. Luckily, mine went a different fashion. But sometimes it ain't gonna always turn out right like that. That whole situation could have went left real fast. You know what I'm saying? He could have just jumped crazy, and I could have might have had to put, put these hounds on him and look and like if it would have went that route with me being already spooked a little bit, I probably would have hurt that old dude bad and caught more time. You know what I'm saying? Or old boy could have had some and I didn't know about it, or he could have been, he could have been Bruce Leroy and put something on me that I didn't know, But anyway, luckily it turned out cool. Wasn't no issues. Wasn't no thing. And I got ghosts. But anyway, man, yeah, that's one of them stories right there, man, about when I first came. And that was like really probably my first kind of like situation. I ran into a same situation like that years and years later with one of these old fools that be doing time, man. Be doing time. But anyway, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 5-3, man. And at the end of the day, homie, stay safe. Stay above ground. Y'all know me, homie. I represent the gangsters. The what? The Avalon gangsters. I'm out. Peace.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie. Ain't nobody gangsta boogie. 4, 2, 1, man. 4, 2, 1, man.